All right, my beautiful people, this is ERGJ, ERGJ TV, and we are back with another episode of What is Truth. And we are continuing the story on the Gavin Long case. I thought that we'd be done with that, but some more information has come out today. So I figured I'd update it. And it's kind of vital that we do continue to update it because information can get lost in translation. Information can be changed. As we saw in the last episode, the story was changed. And so we're just going over the new information that came out today. And again, all I ask is that you think, guys. Think. You know, you got to be open to thinking. What I found is that many of us are so loyal to our thoughts, so loyal to people, so loyal to what we've been told all of our lives, that at this point in time, many of us aren't open to truth because the lies that we've been told our whole life have now become truth. And so I always start here to let you know that it is legal. It is legal for the government to lie to the American people. In 2012, there was a law that passed, an amendment that passed through the National Defense Authorization Act, which allows the government to use propaganda against Americans. Now, the U.S. government has unbound the legal regulations against using propaganda against foreign audiences and American citizens. The intention is to sway public opinion. Again, the whole intention is to sway public opinion. In other words, to get you to change your mind, to get you to think how they want you to think, to get you to see things how they want you to see them. And they do this by using television, radio, newspapers, and social media, targeting the American and foreign people in controlled psyops. So get you to sway public opinion using controlled psyops. What are controlled psyops? Controlled psychological operations to mess with your mind. Controlled, another word for controlled is staged. Another word for controlled is scripted. Very much like you see in Hollywood, it's scripted. Same way, very much like you see in the WWE and wrestling world, it's scripted. The same way that you see reality TV, it's scripted. And the way that they do that, guys, is they use these corporations, the big corporations of the world, the CNNs, the Foxes, the NBCs, anything that you can think of that gets national attention. Again, it's not really, I really haven't seen it much with local, even though I haven't really looked on a local level. And the reason why I look at national is because I understand that that's where they can sway the majority of people who are going to hear whatever story that they get on CNN, whatever story they get on Fox News, whatever story they get on CBS, whatever story they get on ABC, and they won't question a thing. They'll say, you know what, this is what they told me, so this must be true. So let's go ahead and get started. Again, we understand that the law is passed that allows the American government to lie to the American people. That's going to be a hard pill to swallow, but it's true. They can lie to us with no consequence. So the update is that the Gavin Long was said to have suffered post-traumatic syndrome. A quick update on the story. The first story came out, said that this shooter was walking down Airline Highway in a black outfit with a black mask with an AR-15 rifle. Cops were called. This was in Baton Rouge. Of course, Baton Rouge is the same place where Alton Sterling was shot by a cop. So this would, in essence, be like a retaliation. But Gavin Long, the suspect was, the cops were called. And the suspect was walking down the street with a rifle. They pulled him over. They came to where he was. He opened up fire, and then some police died. And then we kind of pick up on the story. Now, the story has been changed to say that now the suspect, who was Gavin Long, another name for Gavin Long is Cosmo, that he was stalking police. This is what came out yesterday. So if you missed the video that I put out yesterday, go check that out. I want to kind of move forward with the narrative and kind of catch up where we are. So now they're saying, obviously, Gavin Long was an ex-military. And they're saying he had post-traumatic syndrome. I think we all saw this coming. Of course, this will be the case. Anybody that's in the military that does some heinous act had post-traumatic syndrome. So Gavin Long, the man who killed 3 law enforcement officers in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, before a SWAT team officer shot him dead, told friends and relatives he suffered from post-traumatic stress disorder. A source involved in the investigation told CNN's Chris Cosmo. Long joined the Marine Corps in 2005, worked as a data network specialist, and served in Iraq. Look at this, Iraq. And it looks like United States and France and the French are going to be attacking Iraq again. Interesting. Before being discharged as a sergeant in 2010, according to U.S. military. Long, listen to this. Long filled a prescription out of Ativan, an anti-anxiety drug, and recently, as June said, the source he spoke on condition of anonymity. He also had prescriptions for Valium and the sleep aid Lunesta, the sources say. So now they're continuing to build the narrative, build the story. Yesterday came out, said that he was stalking police, he was ambushing police. Now they're saying that the next piece of the story that's unfolding the narrative is that he had antidepressants. He suffered from post-traumatic syndrome. He had prescriptions for Valium and also Lunesta. He was a troubled guy. This is the narrative that they are conjuring up. Now, if you look at a lot of his videos that he has on YouTube, you may not say that he was troubled. It just depends on your perspective. But of course, they are starting to ramp up with fortifying the story that they are presenting to the American people. It wasn't immediately clear whether anyone had diagnosed him with post-traumatic syndrome. That's what it says. So CNN had filed a Freedom of Information Act request with the military to obtain records of loans about loan service. The Defense Department rules health records that might include any information on loans, mental health are considered protected, even though he is dead. The records are part of the criminal investigation. So they're still investigating. Remember this. They're still investigating. Obviously they are, because we just got some new information, which again, you got to ask yourself, is this just conjured up information? Every time we get a very similar story when it comes to these shooters. They were crazy. Something was wrong with them. They were on drugs. So Valium, like Ativan, is or whatever that word is, a class of medication with sedative properties that are prescribed for anxiety, insomnia, and other conditions. And then it goes on to tell you a little bit about post-traumatic syndrome. All right, so we come down here. It tells us a little bit about the story that led us up to today, which is yesterday. It said the gunman advocated fighting back. Now, he talked about fighting back, and they're talking about some of the videos that he had put out, that it was, that you want to fight back. And so let's move forward. Baton Rouge, Dallas shooters were military veterans. So it's connecting Baton Rouge to Dallas again. Dallas, a week ago had a Micah Johnson, who was an ex-Army, who sniped down 5 officers. So we got 8 officers dead, both connected to military personnel, black military personnel, continuing to put forth the narrative of Black Lives Matter versus Blue Lives Matter. Civilians versus authorities. So today, we had something come out called the Gavin Long's alleged Manifesto, calls Baton Rouge shootings a necessary evil. So I wanted to go ahead and look up Manifesto for you guys. Manifesto, out of the dictionary.com, says it's a public declaration of intentions, opinions, objectives, or motives as one issued by a government, sovereign, or organization. So even before I get into this, you got to ask yourself, the first thing you got to ask yourself is, why is this manifesto just now coming out? It's now Wednesday. The shooting took place on Sunday, and it looks like we're just getting a little bit of information or evidence, little by little, dragging the story out, which is very interesting. Just dragging the story out. And so my idea is that they've got another story that's waiting to come out. They're just dragging the story out to keep everybody in the news. So here's the deal, guys. In a 3-page written letter, Baton Rouge shooter Gavin Long purportedly says he wanted to create substantial change within America's police forces and judicial system. He wanted to create substantial change let me make sure you guys can see this, in America's police forces and judicial system. Here's Gavin Long here. This went to BuzzFeed. Now, the first thing I ask myself is, well, why did this go to BuzzFeed? Everything else has been coming through national media, CNN, Fox, ABC. But this handwritten letter, which I would consider to be evidence of, we're going to get into the letter itself. Why is it coming through BuzzFeed? Is BuzzFeed, credible? Is this real? Why is it coming through BuzzFeed? That's one of the questions you got to ask yourself. Because yesterday we saw that the 2 emails that went to Boyce Watkins, they came through his B-level website. It definitely wasn't a national syndication or national type of media. It was more local or more underground. And we have another thing that came out today, a handwritten letter supposedly by Gavin Long that's not going through national media, that's coming out on a on underground on an underground website. Makes me kind of curious. Got to ask yourself, why is that? So let's get into this letter. So it says a manifesto. Again, a manifesto is a public declaration of intentions. Purposely written by Gavin Long, who fatally shot 3 Baton Rouge officers and injured 3 more on July 17th, 3 days ago, said his actions were a necessary evil. It was a necessary evil so that he can create substantial change within American police forces and judicial system. The handwritten 3-page letter was sent as a 3 photo attachments to Yarima Karama. This is Yarima Karama down here. Now, we'll find that Yarima Karama is actually associated with Boyce Watkins. This is Boyce Watkins' YouTube, and this is Yarima Karama, who is doing videos on Boyce Watkins' YouTube station. So yesterday we had Boyce Watkins come out and say that he's got email. Look at this. He's got emails from that were sent to him. And now we have Yarima Karama, who is connected to Boyce Watkins, saying he had a letter sent to him. What a coincidence, guys. Real life, Hollywood. You can't make this stuff up. And none of this is national news. This is evidence from someone who allegedly shot 3 cops, but yet it's going through, the evidence is going through underground media and not going to the district attorney, not going to the feds, not going to whoever is investigating, because we found out over here on CNN that they couldn't get information from the military because the records are part of the criminal investigation. So the investigation is still on, but yet we have some clowns that are being used on YouTube to push forth a message from someone that is dead and still being investigated. It doesn't make much sense. This is how I know it's fake. This is how I know that we're being told a lie, because this would not happen in a real investigation. The feds, the Department of Justice, they would not be allowing someone to go on YouTube and spread forth any type of information while they are, especially about a suspect that has killed 3 cops, while they are still investigating the matter. So these are telltale signs, guys, for you to know if it's propaganda, if it's controlled psyops, if it's fake, if it's a hoax, whatever you want to call it. We know that something's not true about the story that they're telling. Again, I never question the loss of life. What I'm questioning is the story that continues to evolve. Evolve means they change and it adapts. And now they brought in Boyce Watkins. They've also brought in this guy, Yarima Karama, to continue to push forth their message. Now, here's the interesting thing, is that Boyce Watkins and Yarima Karama, they both are predominantly sending a message to Black people. Boyce Watkins is part of the Black Wealth Boot Camp. Yarima Karama is a Black rapper from Ohio. Their audience is predominantly Black. So ask yourself, look at this, 13,000 views, 7,500 views on Boyce Watkins' channel. Let's see how many subscribers does he have on his YouTube channel. I'm sorry, let me see how many subscribers he has. He got 139,000 subscribers. He's got 139,000 subscribers on his YouTube channel. So you just imagine, this information going out to the Black community. Then I asked myself, well, why is it being targeted towards the Black community? Because clearly it's not being targeted to everybody. It's not going national news. It's going through these secondary outlets, these underground outlets. And so what is it? What is the message just trying to be presented to the Black community? And I think they're trying to get the Black community to believe what they say about Gavin Long, that he was, he went after the cops, that it was that he saw a clear and present danger, that there was necessary evil that needed to be done. And so I think that's the message they're trying to get the black people to believe as it relates to the shooter. Now, the handwritten letter, a 3-page letter, was sent in a 3-photo attachments to Yarima Karama, an Ohio rapper, less than an hour. This happened less than an hour before Long engaged police in a gunfight on Sunday. So you mean to tell me Gavin Long, who was, supposedly was targeting cops, he was going after cops. They told us yesterday in their story that they presented us that he went, he went to do 2 different stops before he got to his ultimate stop where the shooting took place. He was at a car wash, and he was at another place where he saw cop cars but didn't see any cops, according to the story yesterday. So at some point in time, while he was doing that or before he was doing that, he took the time to have a handwritten letter, and I guess maybe copied it with his phone or whatever, and sent that information to Yarima Karama. Okay, so you're about to kill some cops, supposedly. The story is that you're targeting cops. You are ready to take care of this necessary evil, and you thought enough to send the letter through Yarima Karama before you went and did this. So then it begs the question, what type of relationship does Gavin Long have to Yarima Karama? I mean, what is the connection there? I mean, we know that Yarima Karama and Boyce Watkins are connected. We know that both Boyce Watkins and Yarima Karama got mysterious emails from someone that's deceased now. So what is the connection? And this is the part I need your help with while we're seeking truth. I got a lot of theories, but I don't want to throw them out there. But what are your thoughts on why would Yarima Karama be the one to receive this letter, this handwritten letter? Not typed, not an email, a handwritten letter. It takes a little bit of energy to do that. And as you guys know, if you write something handwritten, it's supposed to be personal. It's meant to be personal. So Karima said that Long would occasionally comment on his YouTube videos, but stressed that he did not know Long personally and doesn't know why he received the email. So Karima said, I don't know why I got these emails. And, I would venture to say he probably didn't receive these emails before the guy got shot. Yesterday, we talked about how the emails that Boyce Watkins received were nothing more than transcripts from Cosmo's first YouTube page. We'll talk about that in just a second. But let's move forward. So Karima decided he was going to discuss the letter on a Facebook Live video on Tuesday. And then on Wednesday, he read the letter in full on his YouTube channel. Karima forwarded the full document to BuzzFeed News on request. So BuzzFeed News requested this full document, and Karama sent it over to BuzzFeed. Why was this important information, this letter that we're about to read, this maybe the suicide note, why was it not sent to the authorities? Why are you going, who does that? Just think about this for a second, guys. You have this evidence from someone that shot 3 cops. And the first thing you think about doing is going on Facebook Live to do a video to put this information out to the world. As a black man, we know that that's just not smart. That's just not wise. I mean, come on. I don't think anybody would say that that's a wise thing to do. So I don't believe that Yarima Karama is an idiot. I don't think that he's stupid. I don't think he's dumb. I think that he is smart. And I don't think that what he's giving us is truth, though. I think that he was put in a position where he needed to do this. I don't believe that he received that information an hour before Cosmo died or decided to pull the trigger on cops. Don't believe that at all. If that were the case, that information would have come out a long time ago, way before, as the investigation's going forth and they're scrubbing. If they can take out his email, his YouTube account, they can take down his website. I'm pretty sure they went through all of his emails. Give me a break. This is real life Hollywood, guys. You can't make this stuff up. And I'm also sure that they wouldn't be allowing someone to go out and create their own information on social media other than to do what with social media, guys? To sway public opinion. See, it all comes back. It all comes back. All right, so he has a video out. I'll put that information in the comments below if you want to listen to him talk. I always like to read. That's just what I like to do. So when asked about the letter, spokesman for the FBI New Orleans office told BuzzFeed News, again, they're talking to BuzzFeed, they're not talking to CNN, supposedly, we're unable to comment on any ongoing investigations. That sounds like what FBI station, that's what an FBI would say. We can't comment. So if the FBI can't comment, then why are they allowing this guy to comment? Doesn't make much sense. U.S. Attorney's Office for the Middle District of Louisiana State did not immediately respond to requests for comment. There's more propaganda, guys. So Long, a 29-year-old from Kansas City, Missouri, a Marine veteran who went by Cosmo, set to appear online, described himself in posts as someone upset with police, killings of black men, a life guru, and a person concerned with government surveillance. 100% of revolutions of victims fighting their oppressors, for victims fighting their bullies, 100% have been successful through fighting back, through bloodshed, he said in one video. All right, so here's supposedly the letter that was written by Long, and Long begins he talks about letter. Now here's interesting here, guys, is that they say that the email sent with the subject line Manifesto was sent to Karama on Sunday, July 17th at 9:04 in Ohio, where Karama lives. That is 36 minutes. Interesting. It's in Ohio. What else is going on in Ohio right now? The Republican National Convention. A lot of links here, man. For criminalized. That is 36 minutes before Baton Rouge police reported seeing Long wearing all black with a rifle behind a beauty parlor. So now they're saying they saw him behind a beauty parlor. Now this is interesting, guys. The story keeps changing. The story keeps lying. Yesterday they said they saw him behind a gas station. Now they're saying they see him behind a beauty parlor. And this is the problem with telling lies. You forget your lies a lot because you got to keep remembering it. So now we have BuzzFeed saying that the police found him behind a beauty parlor. Yesterday, and go look at the video I put out yesterday, they said they found him behind a gas station. Oh my goodness. At 8:40 a.m., 9:40 Ohio time, 8:42, the police received emergency reports of shots fired. All of these stories continue to change. That's why they can be on YouTube and putting stuff out, because it's not a real story. If it's a real story, no one will be talking until we get more evidence and they release something. So think about real eyewitness accounts, real things that happen. That's not national news. Do you have people going out on YouTube and talking, putting out videos about emails they received from somebody that's passed away that's still under ongoing investigation? I really want you guys to think, because if you don't think, you're going to continue to be led by these lies that are being presented to you, and you'll believe everything that you hear. All right. Karama forwarded the email to BuzzFeed News showing that he received it from Cosmo with the email address, this particular email address. Cosmo received the newsletter-style emails from that address before, including one on July 11th that discussed Alton Sterling. Interesting. So when Alton Sterling was killed, there was no video that came out that you talked about getting an email regarding Alton Sterling killing. No. But now we got videos coming out talking about a letter that you got. He was killed by Baton Rouge police. The email address, Iron Cosmo, was also registered to a now defunct website of Long's, Cosmo Club, that points to his last known home address. Now, metadata on the photos sent to Karama suggests that they were taken with a Motorola phone on July 17th, the day of the shooting, at 7:54, 7:56, and 7:57 a.m. Central Time. So he took them at 10 minutes before and then sent them supposedly, because this is 8:54, 8:54, 9:04. And we're sent to Karama 7 minutes before after being taken. It should be noted, though. Here you go. He tells us right here that metadata and photos can easily be faked or altered. So this is where they give you truth even in the lie. They're telling us right here that metadata and photos can be easily faked or altered. Well, that totally takes away the belief that this, if I can get it to pull up, this is a picture of what was sent, registered data. But this totally discounts this right here, because this could totally be fabricated. They're telling us right here in plain sight, metadata and photos can easily be faked or altered. So he could very easily be reading an altered or a fake letter. He could easily be, the times that were sent over can easily be altered or fake. It tells us it can be easily faked or altered. But yet we'll still believe this. Guess what? That's why, guys, because many of us won't read. We won't read this. We'll listen to the video and be like, yeah, okay, I hear you, brother. But we won't come down here and read where they're going to put stuff in plain sight and tell us that this data that's on this photo can very easily be fake, or it could have been altered. No wonder why it's not being used in a court of law, because it could have been altered. Think about it. All right, so let's go down to the letter, because that's what I want to get to. Here's another. This could have been altered. It's metadata. go on down here to the bottom. So as Cosmo normally does, peace family. I know most of you personally know me are in disbelief to hear from media reports that I am suspected of committing such horrendous acts of violence. So look at this. Supposedly this is before he has done anything. And he's talking about being suspected of committing heinous acts of violence. He was more of a little prophetic writer, but isn't that interesting? He hasn't even done anything yet, but I guess by the time we receive this, we'll have suspected that he committed horrendous acts of violence. You're thinking to yourself that this is completely out of character of the man you knew, who was always positive, encouraging, and wore a smile wherever he was seen. That this does seem to be out of character, but I ask that you finish reading before you make that decision. I know I will be vilified by the media and police. Unfortunately, I see my actions as a necessary evil that I do not wish to partake in, nor do I enjoy partaking in, but must partake in order to create a substantial change within America's police forces and judicial system. Right now, there is an unseen and concealed war within American police force between good cops and bad cops, and the way the current system is set up, it protects all cops, whether good or bad, right or wrong, instead of punishing bad cops and holding them accountable to their actions. And when good cops do try and stand up, speak out, and point out the wrongs and criminal acts of a bad cops when they get reprimanded, harassed, blackballed, or blacklisted, all of these and more, thus creating perpetual systemic fertile ground for bad cops to flourish, excel, and go unpunished in. Therefore, I must bring the same destruction that bad cops continue to inflict upon my people, upon bad cops, as well as good cops, in hopes that the good cops, which are in the majority, will be able to stand together to enact justice and punishment against bad cops, because right now the police force and current judicial system is not doing so. Therefore, if the bad cops, lawmakers, and justice system leaders care about the welfare, families, and well-being of other fellow good cops, then they, bad cops, will quit committing criminal acts against melanated people and the people in general. If not, my people and the people in general will continue to strike back against all cops until we see that bad cops are no longer protected and allowed to flourish, because until this happens, we the people cannot differentiate the good from the bad. Again, this is a letter that's being pumped out to the Black community for, saying that this is Gavin Long. This is more propaganda, more pushing forth the agenda or the conflict of Black Lives Matter versus Blue Lives Matter, civilians versus authorities, white cops against Black people. Continue to push that forward. Protected and unpunished bad cops force melanated people to label the good cop and potential threats to the safety and well-being of our women, family, and children. Good cops, I ask that you help change the situation that we find ourselves in by starting from within the force and making an impact in there. For the sake of preventing future loss of life, rather it be from the hand of bad cops upon melanated people or from the hand of the people upon good cops, do not ask but order with and by the power of people behind me for all bad cops to be punished swiftly, completely, and unhesitatingly, and for all unethical police practices and procedures to cease immediately. Condolences to my people and their loved ones who have been victims at the hands of police cops for decades, and condolences to the good cops and their families as well. And a special salute, thank you to the brave cops that have already identified and spoke up against bad cops and racist, unjust practices. List of good cops included, but are not limited to Officer Edwin Raymond and to approximately 10 other officers who are coming forward against legal practices of NYPD targeting my people unethically. Now, I don't know why are we targeting NYPD. He's in Baton Rouge. He's from Kansas City, and he was in Dallas. I'm not sure where the NYPD comes in, but salute to Officer Nakia Jones, Officer Joe Crystal, fellow ex-Marine, ex-cop Michael Wood, retired Captain Ray Lewis, former Police Chief Norm Stamper, Billy Ray Fields, and Officer Frank Serpico. Isn't that interesting? Frank Serpico. That is a movie. Serpico is a movie, guys. Oh my goodness. These people, they have no chill. They really literally think, look at this, Ray Lewis. They literally think that we are stupid. Oh my goodness. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to look up all these officers now and figure out what's going on, see if they really real. But we know Frank Serpico. You guys don't know that movie, Serpico. Matter of fact, let me look it up for you, because I know you guys ain't going to believe me. This is real life Hollywood, guys. You can't make this stuff up. See, I watched the movie, so I know what I'm talking about. Frank Serpico. Isn't that by Al Pacino? Look at this. Look at this. Oh, my goodness. Serpico. Frank Serpico. Huh? You can't make this stuff up, guys. Look at this. Al Pacino, Serpico. Look at this. This is Al Pacino. Can't make this stuff up, guys. I might watch this movie tonight. It's so good. Look at this. Al Pacino, Serpico. Huh? Come on, man. Oh my goodness, I'm so pissed. The reason why I'm pissed, guys, is because they continue to mock American people. They continue to insult our intelligence. They continue to put these lies out in front of the masses. The masses eat it right on up. They're using people now that have nothing to do with their controlled psyop, and they're bringing them in to put forth a message to sway public opinion of Black people now. Of course, it's all people because we got CNN doing that. But particularly with these emails and with this letter, they are influencing the minds of Black people, getting the Black people to say, you know what? Okay, this guy was crazy. You know what? Okay, we're not gonna question the things that we've heard on the street as it relates to how this really went down. No. You have convinced us through the leaders that you have selected, the 139,000 people that follow Boyce Watkins, the other people that follow Yarima Karama, and they just happen to be connected and happen to work together. Come on, give me a break. This guy's in this letter talking about Frank Serpico, who was a freaking movie. He was a freaking movie character. He probably was. I think it was based off real life, but talking about a freaking movie character. Come on, guys. Oh man, we can go in, Michael. Okay, I'm sorry. Every other officer who stands up, protects, and serves or holds their oath, even if protected, sincerely love, Cosmo, a sacrifice. This is what I want to see this too. A sacrifice for my people and a sacrifice for the people. Look up, get up, and don't ever get up. Now, a sacrifice. Remember yesterday I told you that the email that was sent to Boyce Watkins. This is the email. You guys can go read that. When you click on this first YouTube, he had two YouTube accounts. When you click on the first one, look what you get. It says that men, it's time to sacrifice. The YouTube account associated with this video has been terminated due to multiple third-party notifications and copyright infringement. They took this down the day after, which is on the 18th. Before they took it down, we watched every video. Me and my crew, we watched every video that was on this YouTube account. What they did was they took it down and didn't give it access to the public anymore. But they used those videos to create these emails. This is nothing more than a transcript from one of the videos that was on this now terminated YouTube account. This email that was sent to Boyce Watkins is nothing more than a transcript from one of the videos that was on this YouTube account. Now, of course, he's got two YouTube accounts, and this is the second one, but it's missing a whole bunch of videos that he had on his first account. Now, also, Combos with Cosmo. Look at this. This is interesting. You'll see that his logo is here. Cosmo CWC. It's a backward C or whatever. But his logo isn't showing up on his channel. This has all been fabricated, guys. This what you can't make this stuff up. He would use his logo that's back here on his as one of his logos here, but it's not. You see what I'm saying? Look at this. CWC is his logo. Conversations with Cosmos is not this with a white man on the front. This is nothing more than mockery. Nothing more than mockery. Look at this. Nothing more than mockery. He's got his own logos and own banners, but they're showing us this. This is nothing more than fabricated, than something that's been fabricated to give to the American people. I hope that I hope that you guys are seeing this and I'm making this make sense. So, at any rate, a sacrifice to my people on the YouTube account that was terminated. They have men. It's time to sacrifice. This is the word that I continue to stay on because I believe that Gavin Long was a sacrifice. Now you guys are probably like, a sacrifice? Yes, a sacrifice. In other words, he was from the military. He was already a part of the system. And I believe that they used him. His time had come to be used for service. And it was this time. It was this controlled psyop where he was going to go out with a bang on his birthday. They called him up and said, we need you to do this. And he was ready to go. It was his time to go. I don't know what he got, but his sacrifice was at the hands of pushing forth more conflict for the ultimate agenda, which would be state of emergency, gun control, and ultimately martial law. They want us fighting. They want us divided so they can push forth that agenda. And when they do that, if they're able to accomplish that, they can push forth all of the laws they want, because once you get to martial law, guys, we no longer have any rights. Once you get to martial law, you suspend the rights of the people, and now you have total control over the people. Once you have a position where you have gun control, you move the guns out of the hands of the people, then there will be no fighting back against martial law. So you got to understand, or start to think about what could be the ultimate agenda here for them to fabricate all this, to go through all these great lengths, to give us fake emails, to give us a fake letter, to use these these influential black men to push forth the message. Now, I'm not calling out the black men. I mean, they're being used. They're puppets at this point. I don't know how deep they are in it. They may just be a one-time thing. They may have got paid under the table. I'm not quite sure, but they are being used. There's no way that you would get this email and you would immediately do an article on it and you would go on YouTube. What you would do is say, hey, I got this email from a dead guy that shot 3 cops. Let me get this evidence over to the authorities. They've now made them become the authority, and they put it out on underground, and now it's starting to spread. It's just, you can't make this stuff up, guys. So at any rate, I'm going to leave this link in the comments below so you can listen to Karima talk about this email or this letter he allegedly received. I'll leave this link as well, because this is Dr. Boyce Watkins talking about the first letter where he was talking about him as a student. I'll leave this link as well where he's talking about the second email that he got and the alleged shooter from Baton Rouge. As a matter of fact, yesterday on the 19th, Boyce Watkins was supposed to do an interview on CNN at 10:15. That got canceled. But wow, what a coincidence that after you get this email that you're now going to be on CNN. Not that you haven't been on CNN before, but this is very scripted, staged, and it was going to put him right in front of the limelight to talk about Black Lives Matter, to talk about Gavin Long, and to talk about Micah X. Johnson. Men, it's time to sacrifice. So not only do I now believe that Gavin Long was sacrificed, but when I come back here and I look at a sacrifice for my people, a sacrifice for the people, that's 1 sacrifice, that's 2 sacrifice, and that is 3 sacrifice. So 1 sacrifice being, let me link this for you. This is a stretch, but 1 sacrifice. Okay, let me try to do this. All right, so 1 sacrifice would be Alton Sterling. Alton Sterling. Let's look at the connection. So Alton Sterling, he was in Baton Rouge. They're linking Baton Rouge to Alton Sterling. The second sacrifice would be Micah Johnson. They're linking it to Dallas. So Gavin Long is linked to Alton Sterling in Baton Rouge. Gavin Long is also linked to Dallas in Baton Rouge. So 1 sacrifice, Alton Sterling. 2 sacrifice, Micah X. Johnson. And the 3rd sacrifice, Gavin Long himself. That's going to take a little while to sink in, guys. But that's 3 sacrifices that were presented in the script in what we've read so far. All right. This is totally fabricated and fake. This is not his website. This is something that was created to give us, and they took some of the videos that he had on this previous channel, and they added here on this channel so they can say, here's what we're giving you. All right. Email. And we talked about Boyce Watkins. So here's the deal, guys. I don't know how long this video is. I just really want, look at this Serpico. I'm still upset about this. Look at this. Serpico. All right. So here's the deal, guys. All I'm looking for is truth. And I know that the story that they're presenting to us is not truth. And quite honestly, we may not ever even find truth. This stuff is so deep, so convoluted, so many lies are being presented. And my question is, why are they going through such great lengths to cover up the truth of this story? I mean, it's now Wednesday and we're still talking about this and more information is coming out. So it must be that they found that people like us truth seekers are exposing them and they're like trying to cover it up. Look what they did to try to cover this one up. They try to provide a timestamp. But then in the timestamp, they tell us that it's noted that metadata and photos can be easily faked or altered. So ask yourself, what would you do if you got an email from a dead guy who had just killed 3 cops and now you're sitting here with an email in your inbox? Are you going to go on YouTube? Are you going to be, bold enough to do a Facebook Live on this email that hasn't been presented to the cops yet? Aren't you going to turn this evidence over? I don't think anyone's dumb enough to do what was done here, other than them being in the know for what's going on, other than them being cleared or being told what to do. Again, propaganda. Propaganda is used to sway public opinion by television, radio, newspapers, social media targeting American informed people in controlled psyops, controlled psychological operations. And here's my question. Have they messed with your mind long enough? It's curiosity, guys, that's going to lead you to truth. It's curiosity that's going to lead you to truth. And as you see truth and as you find truth, it's the truth that's going to set you free.